What will the Ottawa housing market look like in 2022? Will the prices of homes go down, stabilize, or just continue to go up? If you would like to know my forecast of what's coming down the pike, please hang around. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with me. My name is Faiz VERSEY'S, and just for those of you who know me or have met me, you know my name is spelled F-A-I-Z. So just let me clarify that it's pronounced Faiz as in F-E-Z. But whatever you call me, it's fine. There's no problem. As well, I should let you know that I'm a real estate broker with LePage Team Realty in Ottawa, and I'd be delighted to help you with any selling or buying of property in Ottawa. If you have any needs in that regard, please do feel free to look me up. I'll be delighted to have an initial consultation with you, and then we can go from there. So my friends, very interesting property market that we are in, and I'm doing my annual Daring Predictions seminar. I've done 2 so far. This is the 3rd one in the running. And let's see how my previous predictions have worked out. And then we'll talk about my predictions for the current year, meaning for the upcoming year, which is 2022. So first, let's look at the 2020 prediction. Here it is.
So my daring prediction for 2020, to summarize, is that the housing prices will continue to rise, possibly again in the range of 8 to 9% for this year.
And now let's look at the 2021 prediction. Here it is.
Before I get to this, let me tell you my number for this year coming up is still 8 to 9% increase, and simply because of the demand supply situation.
So there you go. Those were my predictions. Now let's draw a bit of a chart here to keep track of that. We'll also bring LePage into the picture. So LePage is the mother company of LePage Team Realty. We're a franchisee out in Ottawa, and LePage, we are all part of the whole group. And LePage does these amazing projections for all of Canada, including Ottawa. We'll see what numbers they come up with, and and I will compare with what I've come up with. Sometimes our numbers are slightly different. We'll put it all together in a chart, and then we'll compare to the actual to see where all of this is going, and whether really is there any point in your listening to me and listening to my forecast about what's coming down the pike in 2022. So here we go. Let's create this chart. I'm just going to share my whiteboard with you. So here we've got 2020, and over here, let me put daring. So that's me, that's my predictions. Oops. Here we've got LePage. We'll put their predictions over there, and we will put the actual ones over here. There we go. We'll put here 2021. Yep, that sounds about right. And what are the numbers? So daring, that would be me. And for 2020, I had said 8 to 9%. We'll come back to the LePage numbers, although I do remember them offhand. I will just double check them. But that was 4.5%. We'll come back to the actual in a moment. Here again, daring is me. That's 8 to 9%. I said for 2021 as well. And let's now look at LePage, which said, if I'm correct, and I'll just double check this, 11.5% for 2021. Actual we'll come back to. And let's just take write down 2022. We're going to have a discussion about this one, and I will come back to this and fill out some numbers for daring and for LePage. Let me just now go and check the numbers for LePage, make sure I was on the right track. So Ottawa aggregate 4.5% right there. Perfect. I think I put that down correctly. Let's now check the numbers for Ottawa for 2021, it is 11.5%. So that's correct as well. 2022, we will come back to, because let's have a discussion around that. Okay, so Now, what's the story for 2022? What do I think is going to happen in 2022? Let's talk about that. So the way I'm going to figure this out is by looking at a very interesting chart. Let me share it with you, and we will go there in just a moment. Okay, so I've got a chart here, which is the Ottawa residential average sales chart from 1956 to 2020. Very interesting chart. I've done a full video describing this chart in detail. You may wish to go and take a look at that video. It's called the 64-year history, 1956 to 2020, the 64-year history of prices in Ottawa, home prices in Ottawa. Please take a look at that video. You'll learn a lot about the past and also about the future. And let me say at this point, although I'm trying to predict what's coming down the pike in the next 12 months, I'm also planning to do a video for the long term, for the mid to long term, for the next 5 years and 10 years. Keep your eye open for that. I will get to that as soon as possible. Right now, we're just looking at the next 12 months. And by the way, I should say the next 12 months is just a guessing game. As I've mentioned many times in my previous videos, that property is a long-term hold, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You don't think in terms of 1 year, what's going to happen in the next year. Nobody knows. For example, in 2020, January 5th, after I did my prediction for 2020, I'd never heard of COVID. But about 2 weeks later, I started hearing about COVID, and all of us know what happened after that. But my predictions have been very good, if I may say so, but we'll check it now. Even through COVID, I've had some good luck with my good luck, I would say, because it's all luck in the short term. So let's take a look at what I want to explain to you about this chart. Now, if we look at this chart, let me just increase the size so you can see it better. When I look through this chart and I see every time that Ottawa, and I'm talking Ottawa, I don't know too much about the other markets in Canada. I do now, actually, because when I was researching this video that I want to do about the long term, mid to long term, I realized that a lot of areas in Canada are working in sync. Ottawa is also in sync, but Ottawa is not always in sync. So that's a bit of a difference. If you want to find out about what's happening in other parts of Canada, I'm not very familiar with that, but I can certainly find out for you. So please feel free to give me a call. So if I look at this chart of Ottawa, whenever we've had big increases, like back-to-back, 25%, 21%, the following year, the third year after that, it's moderated. It hasn't gone negative. There's been no crash. It's just moderated down to, let's say, about 6%. We look at another one here, 21%, 18%, two large increases. Following that, 5%, no crash. So we're now in another back-to-back increase. We had 19.5% in 2020. And I do believe we'll see approximately 19 and some odd percent again this year. This is some stats as of November. Okay, so as of November, and what does that do? Okay, as of November of 2020, so we have another month to go. I suspect we're going to be approximately in this range. So this is 19 for residential, 19.4 for condos. So let's say the average is 19.2. So if I go back to this chart, we're probably going to end up this year over here at 19.2. So I'll just put that here. Again, this is just an estimate of 19.2%. And we will see what is the actual number when we get the number. So that's two big increases back to back. So my feeling is, this being Ottawa, next year is just going to be a moderate increase, not a crash, again, a moderate increase. And the number I've picked is 7.5%, 7.5%. That's my prediction. Now let's see what Roy LePage has to say about next year. And then we'll put all this on the chart and we'll draw some conclusions from there. Okay, let me just take a look at Roy LePage. Roy LePage for 2022 is saying for Ottawa, aggregate price increase of 9%. 9%. So let's put this all on the whiteboard again, and we will see where this takes us in terms of our analysis. Here's the whiteboard. So this is moi, Mr. Daring. What did I say? I said 7 points. So this I'm not going to give a range. I'm just going to give a dead number, 7.5%. And we will look here, and LePage is forecasting 9%. And let's also now fill in the actuals. The actual for 2020 was, as we saw on the chart that I just showed you, which, if you remember, it was for 2020, it was 19.5%. 19.5%. And if I'm taking a bit of a guess, because we don't have the final number for 2020, we're saying 19.2% based on the November 21 numbers. Good enough for our analysis over here. And I have no clue what happened. Let me just sort that out. So I'm back. I have no idea what happened there, but I have recreated I lost that whiteboard. I've just recreated it. So we were discussing the actual figures, and if you remember from my analysis, and of course the actual for 2022, we don't know. So how does all of this look? So this is me doing my thing here with, just a moment. This is me, and these are my numbers. This is LePage and LePage's numbers. These are the actual numbers. And so as you can see, we're generally in the same direction, in the right direction, which is important. So 8 to 9%, 4.5%, and actual was 19.5%. 8 to 9%, 11.5%, the actual may come out 19%. And then next year, I'm thinking that. So generally, I would say these projections, which are very hard to do anyways in the short term, are generally in the right direction, both for me and LePage, and that is quite good enough. So there you go. That is my analysis of what lies ahead in 2022. My friend, as I've mentioned that, actually, no, hang on. I got a very important thing to mention, which I should do that now. I'm going to go back to the whiteboard. The most important thing is, what does this mean? Like, so what? Okay. And what does it mean for buyers? What does it mean for sellers? This is the whole purpose of this exercise, that if I'm a buyer or I'm a seller of a house in 2022, what does this information mean for me? How do I use it? How do I implement it in my life to have a good result for myself? And that question, I'm going to defer. I'm not going to answer that question. I usually do in these daring videos that I've been doing. And I'm going to defer it because, as I mentioned earlier, that I'm going to be doing a video that looks at the midterm to long term, next 5 years, next 10 years. After that, I will answer this question. So please hold on to that thought. And I hope so I'll be able to get to that second video as soon as possible. My friends, that's all I have for today. I would just request, if you have any questions, please put them in the questions below or wherever this video is that you're watching it, and or send me an email. That'll be fine as well. And if you like the video, please click a like. That helps the video generate and go out through the algorithms, go out to other people as well. Share it with your friends. So my friends, I would really appreciate that, and do subscribe. That would be great as well. And before I sign off, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who has supported me this year. All my friends, my clients, people who referred me business. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It's very hard to do anything in life by yourself. So the support is fantastic. I much appreciate it. And I wish all of you all the best. Have a happy holidays. And I hope to talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.